What does it mean to be a member of YCAR, which stands for Youngstown Columbiana Association of Realtors? Stay tuned into the show to find out later. Welcome to The Real Tea, my weekly segment where I spill the tea on what's happening in the real estate market. And today I'm here with Julie Larson, CEO of YCAR. Hey, Julie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for being on the show today. I'm going to go ahead and get started with some icebreakers to kick off the show just so we can get, the ball rolling. So you're going to pick one or the other, okay?
Okay.
All right. So are you a dog person or are you a cat person?
That's kind of unfair because I have 3 dogs and a cat.
Okay.
I have 2 Siberian Huskies and a Chihuahua and a Tabby that likes to be outside.
Oh, do the Huskies and the Chihuahua get along, or?
Yeah, the Chihuahua's the queen bee. We've had her the longest. We've had her 14 years, and she just likes her space and likes to be left alone by our youngest puppy is a year old, so she can get in her face sometimes.
Well, that's usually how it goes. The smallest dog is usually the one that runs the show, so.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Are you a TJ Maxx person or a Marshalls person?
I would prefer TJ Maxx just because I'm more familiar with it. That's where I'd gone. I'd never heard of Marshalls before they put one in Boardman.
Yeah, and especially now that the TJ Maxx is home goods too.
Absolutely.
That's where I go. And then last one, are you a Facebook person or are you a Twitter person?
Oh, definitely Facebook over Twitter, but I really like Instagram as well.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I enjoy Instagram and Snapchat, and I recently had jumped on the TikTok train. So, yeah. But to head into the second segment of the show, why don't you give us a little bit of a background about you and kind of like your stance and how you got started in the real estate world?
Absolutely. So I actually have a bachelor's degree in hearing, speech, and language sciences and a master's in teaching. So my background was not necessarily in real estate. I've worked jobs as an office manager for a psychologist's office, personnel supervisor, a substitute teacher, and even some private consulting work as I was home with my older 2 children for the better part of 11 years. Whether that was, part-time or full-time in between there. And then in 2016, I was like, I'm ready to get back into working again, started looking for a job. And I was hired at YCAR as the executive assistant in June of 2016, which was part-time at the time. They had some unexpected personnel changes within the first 3 weeks of my time there. So then it was just myself and another staff member for a few months. So really it was like learning on the spot, thrown in the fire as fast as and as much as I could learn. And then I went through an intensive interview process when they did a CEO search and started as the CEO at YCAR December 1st of 2016.
Well, congratulations. And that is great. That is such a prestigious position to hold at YCAR. And so you said that you are CEO. So what are some of the responsibilities day to day that you are responsible for being the CEO of YCAR?
So as the CEO, I'm the executive position. So I oversee the day-to-day operations of the board. That includes accounts payable and receivable, supervising the staff there, overseeing the committee meetings that are scheduled, policy enforcement, making sure that our board is in line with the policies and procedures that we have in place, making sure that the decisions the board of directors are making fall in line with the bylaws. I do attend the board meetings every month. Our board of directors are all volunteer realtor members that have been part of the business, and they, oversee the direction of the board and make those decisions of what the board is going to do and where they're going to go. And then I'm also the professional standards administrator for the board.
Okay. No, that's great. So obviously that's a lot of behind the scenes of what you guys do at YCAR from a work standpoint. But let's say that you're on the other side. What are some of the benefits of being a member of YCAR? And on top of that, who are the members of YCAR?
So The members of YCAR call themselves a realtor, and a lot of people in the public get confused between what does that actually mean to be a realtor. Realtor means you're a member of the National Association of Realtors. That is a trademark that's backed by millions of dollars. There are 1.3 million realtor members in the United States. And when somebody gets licensed as a sales agent, they need to join a board, a local board, to become a realtor. And the realtors are really amazing. They hold themselves to a higher standard of code of ethics and professional development. When they belong to the board, they have access to professional development courses. They have access to different education courses that they need for their licensing. They have access to grievance and arbitration services. If there's an ethics issue that comes up during a transaction or a commission dispute, they can come to the board and utilize those professional standard services that are available to them at no cost, rather than having to go to a court system to deal with that. We also have, they have the ability to get their lock boxes, which they use to secure homes that are being showed, and the MLS services. Those are closely tied. We belong to a regional MLS called Yes MLS.
Okay.
And then they also get involved in charity work, community outreach, networking, and a lot of them develop lifelong friendships because they are working with these people not only out in their job, but also then to further the progression of the board and what we're achieving.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, as a real estate agent, having relationships with other agents, especially in today's market, since a lot of transactions are being done before the listing even gets on the market and put in those systems. So that's really great that that you guys offer that community outreach, that community feel for agents in the area to get to know each other.
We also have affiliate members that belong to the board, and those are businesses like title companies, mortgage brokers, big banks, home inspectors, insurance companies. Some of them are maybe home staging companies, photographers, anything that is related that like might be a service a realtor needs. They can belong to the board as an affiliate, and then they get invited to the events and get that networking with the membership. So it really helps for new agents because then they find out those members of the board, they can meet them, and these are professional relationships that they're going to use in their day-to-day business that they'll have access to from the very start through the board membership.
That's great. It's almost like a networking community a little bit. You could say. Yeah. No, that's definitely great. And I noticed on your guys' website that you do a lot of real estate like safety for realtors. So I kind of wanted to go into that a little bit since, obviously the market is really great and realtors are working so much. So what are some safety tips that you can give to agents and realtors that are going to all these listings and showing houses? Because I noticed that was a big part of your guys' website.
Yeah, so some of the major safety tips that we really like to remind even some of the new agents is if you're going to be showing an abandoned or a vacant home to somebody that you don't know personally, it's very important that you don't just go to that location by yourself. Even if you bring somebody along that stays in the car, or maybe another agent from your office that comes with you. And it's always important when going out to show homes to make sure somebody knows the address, the location you're going, and about how long you plan to be there as well. So that if something happens, even if it were not, say, like a predator or maybe somebody fell and got hurt, and you didn't have a way to call 911 yourself, that somebody else would know to look for you. Another thing that we discuss with new agents is to park in a manner that if you needed to leave quickly or suddenly, you could get out and you wouldn't be blocked in. And then, of course, this year with COVID, things have really thrown the agents for a loop because now they have to worry about making sure the surfaces are sanitized. We want to keep our consumers safe as well. We want them to feel like they can go through a showing and not worry about getting COVID-19. So the agents have been very diligent about bringing hand sanitizer with them, making sure they have cleaners to wipe down the surfaces that are being touched often, wearing masks, adhering to social distancing, and keeping the number of people going through the home limited so that also the homeowners feel like, their house is going to be secure as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that that's been a really hot topic lately, just talking about how agents are staying safe during coronavirus and how they're keeping their clients safe and things of that nature. So does YCAR specifically, so how does that work? So does YCAR relay that information to their members every day? Do they offer resources? I don't know where you guys are located at. So how do you have something specifically in place that agents can use you for resources for coronavirus?
Absolutely. So on our website, we always post the most updated information that we have, but we also issue a monthly e-newsletter via email that comes out at the beginning of the month. And in that email, we provide direct links to resources from the state association, the National Association, locally what we have, as well as upcoming events, education opportunities, and just news of what's going on within the real estate market, within YCAR as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's great that you guys offer that, and it's good for our audience to know what exactly YCAR does and how you help the community and fellow realtors in the area. So, I also wanted to hit on one more thing before we ended the show today. But I noticed that you also have an ombudsman program at YCAR, and I kind of wanted you to explain a little bit more about that. And obviously, you said that when there's ethical issues and things of that nature that happens during a transaction, I just wanted you to go over that a little bit as well.
Okay, great. So the ombudsman program, it's such a funny word that people are not really sure what it means, but it's basically kind of an informal mediation that can take place over the phone. So if somebody is having an issue during a transaction where they feel like they need some help, maybe the other agent is not responding, or something's taking place that they're not sure about, they can request the ombudsman to intervene, kind of coach and counsel, and help them come to some sort of resolution with the other party. They can go to our website to request an ombudsman, or they can call the board and request an ombudsman. And we have 5 members that are trained right now to serve as an ombudsman. I would call them up, give them the contact information for the party, and just a brief description of why they called the board and requested this service. The ombudsman would get in touch with them, just kind of get an idea of the situation, the circumstances, what's going on, and then reach out to the other party as well and say, what's your side of what's going on? Can we come to some sort of resolution? If this is not something that could be resolved or handled over the phone, then we also can bring them in for a formal mediation where both parties would come in with a mediator and sit down, and the mediator would help them. They would help make the conversation happen between the two parties so that the two parties can come to a resolution on their own and just kind of guide that discussion without the mediator making a decision. If there's still no resolution to be found, then they can file an actual ethics complaint if they suspect that an actual violation of the code of ethics has occurred. Or if there's a commission dispute, they would file what's called an arbitration. And that's then where we would hold a hearing, and we would have professional standards committee members come in. There would be 3 on a panel. They would listen to both sides, and the panel then would make a determination, either yes, you violated the code of ethics, or no, there was no violation, or this party gets the commission or that party gets the commission.
Really, does it get to that point a lot? I'm not obviously not an agent, so I don't know, but I mean, I feel like that's really far. But
since we've started the ombudsman program and implemented the mediation program, that has really prevented a lot of cases from getting to that point. Back in the day, you pretty much all you had was the availability of the hearings, and that can be intimidating or make people upset and not willing to compromise. It's better if both parties can come to a decision on their own than go before the panel.
Is there anything that you want to tell our audience before we end the segment? Anything more about YCAR, maybe how to become a member, if someone is interested?
Yeah, well, first I want to say that I love working with the realtors. They all have big hearts. They are all super, super passionate about not just their job and selling real estate and helping people get the American dream. They're passionate about their communities. And almost all of our realtors are very involved in a local charity that on their own, and then as well as with the board. So as a board, every year we let our president select a charity that we support as a whole. And that's something that I think we can really see that we've come a long way in doing good things with over the 4 years that I've been there. In 2016 and 17, we supported the Habitat for Humanity and raised over $100,000 to fund the Habitat build that took place on Erskine Avenue.
Yeah.
In 2018, we supported a charity. It's a children's charity called Mader's Foundation, and we donated over $12,000 to them.
Wow.
And last year, we donated $16,000 to the Rich Center for Autism. So this year, we're currently working on raising funds for the Northeast Ohio Adoption Services.
Okay.
We're going to be having a charity trivia game night event on October 8th that is open to the public if you would like to help support our efforts and take part in a trivia night to raise money for that really good cause as well. So
yeah, definitely. Is there a link that people can go to, probably just on your website?
Absolutely. So if you go to www.ycar.org and go over to events and click down on trivia night, it will take you to the registration page. You can fill out a registration form and pay right through the website as well. It's $20 a person, and that $20 goes to the charity for every registrant that we have.
That's great. And I'll also add the link to your website below in the description once this is posted on businessjournaldaily.com underneath the Realty, so people can also click there as well to go through for the trivia night. But
great. And then sales agents, you know, if somebody is going to take the classes to become a licensed agent, after they take their exam and their license becomes active, they have 30 days to join a local board. There's about 35 local boards in Ohio. And they'll talk to their broker, and their broker will say, here's, you know, the board that you would like to join. YCAR, we cover the Mahoning and Columbiana County territory. So yeah, then they would call the board and the board would get them set up. There's a lot of great boards in Ohio, and I'm really proud to be part of YCAR.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Julie.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And like I said, I will put the description, the link in the description after we post it. And I think it's also in the comments on this Facebook Live. So everyone go to YCAR, and thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.